to call this meeting to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Ms. Perez?
Here.
Mr. Pavoni?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Person? Roll call, Mr. Mayor. One absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move the absent council member be excused.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Pavoni that we excuse Councilmember Person. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. All right, next on the agenda, we have a special presentation, the Renton Reporters 2015 Film Frenzy People Choice Award.
Just me? You guys want to say anything about that? Sure.
You're in the dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having us here tonight. I'm Mitch Shepard. I'm with the Renton Municipal Arts Commission. This is Mr. Ben Andrews. You may be familiar, also on the Renton Municipal Arts Commission.
I'm Brian Beckley. I'm the editor of the Renton Reporter.
We're here to just talk briefly about this year's Renton Film Frenzy, which just went off this last month in October. Very briefly, it's a 50-hour film competition. It goes, this year went from the 2nd through the 4th, where we have teams that will go out and produce a complete short film in that period of time. It's writing, filming, editing, execution, the entire thing. All for a screening that we did on the 17th. That was a screening and an awards all in one night. It was a ton of fun.
For this year, it was really exciting because we had a lot of community outreach and commitment from local businesses. We had some financial sponsors from the Altitude Apartments and Antiques for You, Blossom Restaurant, Whistle Stop Ale House, and of course the Arts Commission and the Allied Arts of Renton and Horticulture, and then the normal supporting sponsors, which was of course Carco, the Chamber, Renton Downtown Partnership, the School District, the Renton Reporter, and Real Girls, and of course the City of Renton.
So briefly, just a couple of numbers. We had 21 filmmaking teams that registered. That's our second highest number that we've ever had. 13 filmmaking teams participated for the first time ever. 15 open division, that's anybody who's our age, so to speak, and then 6 student divisions. They came from high schools all over the area, not just Renton. There were 18 completed films that were showed on the 17th that we said at the Carco Theater. There was Maywood Middle School, Renton High School, Hazen, Renton Home Program, and the Raisbeck Aviation High School are all represented. So it was a very diverse group of people who came. There were 9 of the 15 teams came from outside of Renton, so we had terrific participation from outside of the region as well, not just locally. And just a ton of great fun. 250 people who attended the event at the Carco Theater when we did the showing and the screening, the screening and the award ceremony in the same night. It was a great turnout. People had a ton of fun. Just talk about the judges briefly.
Yeah, one of the things that's really exciting to me about this competition that we do here in Renton is that for the second year in a row, we have had the most prestigious judges of any film competition in the state, and that's including SIF itself. This year we had Stacey Adams, who used to be a senior executive at CBS, and she started a show called Big Bang Theory, if you ever heard of that one. We had Diana Daughter, who is the executive director of the film school, which is pretty much the state's screenwriting competition. That school was started by Tom Skerritt. We had Matt Jackson, who's vice president of a talent agency out of LA. We had Stephanie Malone, who's executive director of NIFTY, which is also the nation's largest children's film festival or youth film festival. We had Daniel Soul, who is co-founder of Holly Shorts, which is one of LA's most prestigious short film festivals. And we also had Doug Voss, who was an executive at TNT for 10 years. So that's always an exciting thing for me, because whether it's the student division or the open division, these people are really having professionals look at what they're doing.
Yeah, it was tremendously exciting for them. So, just in the interest of making sure we actually get to presenting the award that we're here to do, just briefly to mention that we had 58% of the attendees that came from Renton, but 42% came from outside of the Renton. 105 of our 250 visitors came from outside of the city of Renton to be a part of the gala and screening. That included Auburn, Federal Way, Bothell, Enumclaw, Kenmore, Kent, Maple Valley, Seattle, Bainbridge, Burien, Shoreline, Everett, Fox Island, Paulsbo, Puyallup, Tacoma, and University Place amongst the people who attended. 13% of our attendees came from Seattle area, 6% from Everett, and 5% from Tacoma. So this is not just a little homespun thing. This is something that's got some traction in the area overall. And of course, to turn things over, the media coverage of the event, which was handled through the Renton Reporter, was fantastic. They're a huge part of this, and it's our pleasure every year to have them associated with the People's Choice Award, where you go online. The final award is to pick what the people vote for online. So I'll turn it over to Brian.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. As Ben and Mitch mentioned, there were some serious professional judges that handed out the awards during the presentation, during the screening at Carco Theater. However, we at the Renton Reporter are proud once again to be a media partner with the Film Frenzy. And once again this year, we hosted the Renton Reporter's People's Choice Award on our website. Now, for any of you who didn't see the films, we hosted all of the films that were submitted this year on our website. You can still go to our website, www.rentonreporter, and check out those films now. However, voting is closed. So, that said, we are very proud to once again be a media supporter of the Film Frenzy. We at the Renton Reporter, of course, believe that our job as a newspaper is not only to provide the information and news that the citizens of Renton need, but also to be involved in culture, because what makes a city great is all of the other things, including the culture in a city. And the Film Frenzy is one of those great events in Renton that we really enjoy getting behind. That said, the results are in this year. And I checked with our IT people, and it wasn't even close. I can tell you that the results this year were a runaway. We did a profile earlier this year of this young man as well in our paper. So I'm happy to say that we saw this coming. Anyway, without further ado, the 2015 Renton Reporter People's Choice Award goes to the movie Camp Cedar River Part 1, because he submitted 2. Camp Cedar River Part 1, Long Tran producer. Is he here? There he is. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly suggest checking it out. It starts with a great visual double entendre, and then is a nice little send-up of summer camp. And I would also like to say that we saw this coming, and we hope in the future to see the People's Choice Award sitting on a shelf next to Long Tran's Oscars. So,
this is such an honor. I want to thank my incredible cast and crew, my parents, and this is a great award. Thank you.
Council President, would it suit that we get a photo with the group? Up here or down there?
Could be up here and show you guys.
Okay.
You want to take a picture from right here? Okay, next up, we have two public hearings. First one is a street vacation request.
Apparently, we're going to do this. Good evening, council members. My name is Amanda Asker, and I work in the Community Development Group. I've started 3 months ago, so this is my first time here, so please be a little nice.
You're doing great, yeah.
I made it, we're good. Okay, so tonight is a public hearing for the street vacation, which is 15003. The location is really tiny on there, but it's next to the airport property in the area that they're doing the new facility building. The yellow area that you can see on the screen is where the area to be vacated. It is 2,672 square feet. So the petition was received on September 18th. We own, or the airport owns 100% of the abutting property, and they signed. The right-of-way was originally dedicated by Platts and also the highway, the washtop. You can see there was a recorded survey done in 2000 that did the Renton Airport boundary, so we can accurately know where we're vacating. This area of right-of-way is adjacent to the proposed aerospace training facility, and the vacation will basically help realign the irregular shaped right-of-way, and also conforms to the scheduled street improvements and gets everything in line in that area. The vacation was circulated through the various departments and also outside agencies. At the time, there were no objections to the vacation. PSC did did have a recommendation, which we'll go over in a minute. There were no comments from internal reviewers. On the outside comments, PSC's comment to us was that there is a transformer located in the right-of-way that is to be removed during the redevelopment of the site. They had asked the city to enter into a customer agreement or a temporary electrical easement. These were their comments to us. Quest and Electric Light Wave have not responded to this at this time. So we had staff recommendations, and I also had staff next steps. I'm going to jump ahead because there's been some progress since. So now we have revised staff recommendations, which you all received a copy of. And these are also revised again, so I will have to read a little bit to you. So we recommend that the property owner or developer enter into the customer service agreement with PSE as requested by PSE. The city will allow the transformer to remain until the customer service agreement is executed or the transformer has been located or relocated due to the redevelopment. So the next steps for the council would be to, if this is approved, would be just to place the motion or place the ordinance to vacate the right-of-way on the agenda for the next council meeting. Okay.
Good.
Mr. Council President,
Yes, Zanetta.
yet another little tweak to the recommendation. It is not clear, as I sit here, as to who needs to enter into the customer service agreement. When Larry and I talked about it earlier, it was WMATI, but WMATI is not prepared to do that at this time. So I would propose that the number one bullet here, the property owner / developer, I would add WMATI as a possibility there to enter into a customer service agreement with PSE.
Okay.
And that way, then when that happens, it leaves room for the possibility that it's going to be WMATI instead of the property owner / developer.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone that wants to provide public comment on this item? Seeing none.
Go ahead.
Oh, move
Corman?
the public hearing be closed, sir?
Second. Mr. Corman,
Can I ask a question of Zanetta? Can you just clarify, I know what it is, but for the public, what WMATI is, what it stands for? Washington Aerospace?
Yes, Washington Manufacturing Advanced Training Institute.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr. Mayor.
Because
Yes.
that WMATI doesn't mean much to
Yes,
anyone
Mr.
unless you're,
Let me check with the clerk and see if
Thank you,
there's any
Zanetta.
correspondence.
Is there any, thank you. Is there any correspondence?
No.
All right, we'll switch to council on this.
Yeah, move the public hearing be closed.
second.
Moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that the public hearing be closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I would then like to make a motion. I'd like to move we approve the staff's recommendation. It's okay. I'm just trying to think of, do I just read the check marks or do this? Yeah. Okay. So, sorry.
If I may help,
Please.
that you approve the vacation petition, place the ordinance to vacate the right-of-way on, put that ordinance on first reading for next week's agenda, on the condition that the property owner / developer / WMATI
Got it.
enter into a customer service agreement with PSC, and note that the city will allow the transformer to remain until the customer service agreement is executed or the transformer location is redeveloped.
Okay, good.
Wow.
I would so move.
That's what you said, right?
Yes, and I have that written down
Second.
here.
Moved by Mr. Corman, as read by Zanetta, seconded by Ms. Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Well done, Mr. Corman.
Thank you. And if you could provide the clerk with exactly what was said.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully the next one's not as hard.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That was a complicated one.
Next up, we have school impact fees. Paul, is that you?
Good evening, council members. My name is Paul Hintz. I'm Associate Planner for the Department of Community and Economic Development. Here tonight to advance the annual process of updating school impact fees on behalf of the Issaquah, Kent, and Renton school districts. School impact fees are collected based on the school capital facilities plan of each district. These impact fees help to offset the impact of growth on the school facilities. The fees are only assessed on new residential development, and money can only be used for capital facilities projects as opposed to operation or maintenance costs. The Issaquah School District is requesting a school impact fee of $4,635 for each new single-family home, a $75 increase from last year, and $1,534 for each new multifamily unit, which is a $76 increase from last year. The Kent School District is requesting a $4,990 fee for each new single-family home, which is almost a $500 decrease from last year, and nearly a over a $1,200 decrease for each new multifamily unit, which will result in $2,163 for each unit. And then finally, the Renton School District is proposing an impact fee of $5,643 for each new single-family home, an increase of just $102, and merely a $25 increase for each multifamily unit, to establish $1,385 as that fee. This item has been referred to the Finance Committee, and Council is being asked tonight to hear public testimony on the matter, approve the Finance Committee report, and also to hold first reading. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council? All right, we have one person signed up for this public hearing, Ralph Fortunato.
Council members, and my name is Ralph Fortunato. I'm the Director of Fiscal Services for the Kent School District. And one reason why our fees went down, for particularly multifamily, we did a major study. We included more units, both multifamily and residential units in the study, which resulted in a lower student generation factor. Particularly in our multifamily housing, why it went down is because a lot of the apartments that we used to be able to count, we can't count anymore because they're over 10 years old. So you can't say that no new development is being caused by those. New development in the multifamily is more expensive and generates less children. We haven't collected impact fees for the city of Renton for a couple of years now. But I just heard today, there's a nice development, about 20, 25 homes going up in the Fairwood every year. And they called today asking about impact fees, and I asked them, when are you pulling the permit? He goes, next year. I says, good, you're gonna save yourself $500. They were happy about that.
Good.
So, and of course, the study's done every year, the student generation factor is done every year, we analyze it. Some years it may go up, some years it goes down, all depends on what's students being generated out of those dwelling units, both multifamily and single family.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Corman.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Mr. Fortunato for coming tonight. And I was actually I was prepared to say that I was impressed that Kent was able to lower that fee. And, I think it gives confidence to people in seeing that every school district is assessing from year to year, what the right fee is. So it's nice to see that it doesn't always go up. So thank you for that fiscal responsibility.
Thank you.
Okay.
Was there any correspondence on this public hearing?
No, there was not.
Okay. What's the wish of the council?
I move the public hearing be closed.
Second?
Moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Corman. The public hearing be closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Paul. All right, next up is the administrative report. Mr. Covington.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council members, a couple of items. The first, want to just recognize some good work that you all have done over the last number of years, along with staff. The Governor's Smart Communities Award judges were asked to select the greatest examples of successful planning over the past 25 years of the Growth Management Act, because the City of Renton has received the Governor's Smart Communities Award for multiple projects in 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015. We were honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. That Lifetime of Growth Management Act Achievement Award was presented last Friday at the anniversary of the GMA reception as part of a conference that the Planning Association had. So we're honored to receive that award, and again, a credit to our policymakers and to staff for putting together good planning policies and plans. Number of transportation projects around the communities. We continue to try to work through some things before the weather gets to the point where it stops us. Some intermittent closures in several different places. I'll just name the streets and just folks can be prepared. One of these weeks, I'm probably just going to tell you the streets where we're not actually working on. That might be a little shorter list. So we'll be in the area of Lind, Taylor Avenue, the intersection of 7th and Shattuck, Lake Washington Boulevard, 156th Avenue, and Main and Talbot, as well as Chelan this week doing some work, intermittent lane closures, so people just need to be aware of that. And then, as you all know, Logan Avenue North between 6th and Airport Way is closed now through August to allow them to reconstruct that road. So I will tell you, I was having lunch at one of our restaurants in the area, and I had a person who just moved here from California, a worker there. He wanted to compliment us. He said, I've lived in California a long time. You guys do a lot of work, and you actually get the roads done. He said, I really appreciate the fact that you're doing the work and you're actually completing the project. So good to hear. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Covington. Next up is audience comment. I have one person signed up, Howard McCumber.
Howard McComber, City of Renton. First, I want to thank everybody who helped us with our gala. We have an interesting situation every year. We have a tremendous need for constant help. It's a continual thing where we have to donate and help the poor in our area. This morning I got up and I saw frost everywhere, and I realized there were people out last night living in that, which is very, very tough. But we don't have any children that have to stay outside. This is the only community that I'm aware of in Western Washington that do not have children shelterless. And that's because REACH has worked with Harambe and all the group, and we have a shelter over at what used to be the Eagles Club, which is now Harambe, where people with children can get out of the weather, and that's important. And we have breakfast there, we have evening meals. Danetta did a great job on the verbiage. I thought that was good. But that building was the building which the city has magnanimously allowed us to use. to feed people on the weekends. We are looking for another venue to serve Friday, Saturday, and Sunday meals, but we have meals in this town every night. This town is a giving town. They have compassion and charity, and that's tremendous. And it says good things for us. And we're not waiting for the other towns. We are trying to lead them, but we're trying to talk them into doing what we're doing. But we don't wait for them. We feed our hungry. We try to be inclusive. We have a lot of needs, and Reach has needs because we have been so energetic at our approach of trying to help that we are stretched. And so I'm just here to suggest that if anybody wants to leave a legacy or a gift or a love offering, if you'd like to just look into your computer and Google and put Renton Ecumenical, about that time our site will come up. You can make a donation there. You can reach me at any time. I'll be happy to take care of those things. It's just a constant need, which we have, of helping each other, of blessing each other's lives. And I can tell you that those who give, receive. Thank you.
Thanks, Howard.
Thank you, Howard. Anyone else for audience comment? Seeing none, moving on to the consent agenda. We have 11 items on the consent agenda. Any items that the council would like to pull from the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move we approve the consent agenda as published.
Second. Moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that we approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have unfinished business. Ms. Perez.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Pavoni.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Finance Committee has a couple of committee reports.
Okay, the first committee report is regarding the 2016 school impact fees. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence with the staff recommendation to adopt an ordinance to approve impact fee collection changes and capital facilities plans for 3 school districts within the city of Renton as follows. Collect the requested impact fee of $4,635, an increase of $75 for each new single-family home, and an impact fee of $1,534 for each multifamily unit, an increase of $76 on behalf of the Issaquah School District. And collect the requested impact fee of $4,990, a decrease of $496 for each new single-family home, and $2,163, a decrease of $1,215 for each new multifamily unit on behalf of the Kent School District, and collect the requested impact fee of $5,643, an increase of $102 for each new single-family home, and $1,385, an increase of $25 for each new multifamily unit on behalf of the Renton School District. Finally, the committee recommends that an ordinance regarding this matter be prepared for first reading, and this is signed by the committee vice chair, substitute member, and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that the council concur in the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
The next committee report is regarding the approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on November 16th, 2015, claims vouchers 342843 through 343126, 5 wire transfers and 1 payroll run with benefit withholding payments totaling $6,715,360.62, and payroll vouchers including 572 direct deposits and 56 payroll checks totaling $1,645,716.37. And this is signed by the committee vice chair member and substitute member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I recommend the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
Second.
Moved by Mr.
Mr.
Taylor.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, just a correction. I think that's written down correctly. Just that 752 direct deposits as opposed to 572.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
thank you. Moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that we concur, the council concur in the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the last Finance Committee report is regarding a utility billing adjustment. The Finance Committee recommends concurring in the staff recommendation to grant the waiver requested for the following utility accounts: sewer and King County Metro related charges from a water leak at the service address of 2300 Benson Road South, Building B, account 06322-000, as presented for the total amount of $13,250.38. The adjustment includes city sewer for $4,736.16 and King County Metro for $8,514.22, charges above their normal usage. And second, the water, sewer, and King County Metro related charges from a water leak at the service address of 151 Sunset Boulevard North, as presented for the total amount of $14,292.24. The adjustment includes city water of $2,359.44, city sewer of $4,230.72, and King County Metro of $7,702.08, charges above their normal usage. And this is signed by the committee vice chair, member, and substitute member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that the council concur in the Finance Committee report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Corman.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business.
Okay. Resolutions and ordinance. We have one resolution for first reading, one resolution for second and final reading.
Okay, the first ordinance for first reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending a section of Chapter 1 of Title 4 Development Regulations of the Renton Municipal Code, setting the impact fee at $4,635 per new single-family home and $1,534 per new multifamily in the Issaquah School District, setting the impact fee at $4,990 per new single-family home and $2,163 per new multifamily home in the Kent School District, setting the impact fee at $5,643 per new single-family home and $1,385 per new multifamily home in the Renton School District, and adopting the capital facilities plans of the Issaquah, Kent, and Renton School District.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second. Moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that this item be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
The first ordinance for second and final reading is an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending sections of Chapter 2 of Title 4 Development Regulations of the Renton Municipal Code, amending the residential zoning standards in the CA Commercial Arterial Zone.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move adoption of this ordinance.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that we approve this ordinance. It's called for a roll call vote.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Ms. Perez?
Aye.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
The ayes have it. Next up, new business. Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, November 23rd, at 4 p.m., the Community Service Committee will meet at the conference room, and we have two items in the agenda: golf course operating overview and neighborhoods, resources, and events. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pavoni.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Mayor, yes, just a question for the city attorney. As a matter of a point of order, should we have had a roll call vote on the first ordinance?
The one for first
Yes.
reading, to put it on for next
Yes.
week? No.
Okay. I saw you looking over that, so I was curious if we had missed something. Thank you. Unfinished business. We're on unfinished?
We're on new business.
New business. Oh, new business. Okay. Yes, I do have some new business. Next week at 5 p.m., there'll be a Utilities Committee report, committee meeting. And during that meeting, we will be talking about partial release of easements request for Taco Time and Starbucks. That is all.
Thank you. Mr. Corman.
Yes, a couple of items, a couple of committees to announce. The first is we will hold a Planning and Development Committee meeting on Monday, November 23rd at 3 o'clock p.m. That will be in the council conference room. There's 4 items on that agenda. The first is economic development update. The second item is multifamily housing property tax exemption extension. The third item is owner-occupied housing incentive and rental housing incentive extensions. And the fourth item is the lofts at Second and Main multifamily housing property tax exemption agreement. And then the second meeting I'll announce is that same night, Monday, November 23rd, at 5:30 p.m. we will have a committee of the whole meeting, and we've got 2 items on that agenda. One is Regional Fire Authority, the second is legislative priorities, and that meeting will be in council chambers. And that is all.
Thank you, Mr. Corman. Ms. Palmer?
No new business.
All right, I keep forgetting this. Don asked me to refer this into public safety. Don would like referred into public safety a briefing on fortified alcohol impact reviews.
Second.
All in favor? Yes, that was my motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Next up, is audience comment. Is there anyone from the audience that'd like to address the council? What's the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Corman, we adjourn. Seconded by Mr. Pavoni. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Very good.